Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's been a little windy, a little breezy. We had a really hard dew last night, but not too bad today. Sun should be coming out shortly. Like I said, it's a little breezy. A little early in the morning yet. I don't know if these beans will go. Still a little wet, not really wanting to shell very well. As far as moisture pickup, they do look a little swollen. Jelly beans. Yeah. Jelly beans. Doesn't want to come out, so I don't think they'd go yet. But it's given us a little time here. Last night we were out of fuel on everything, and that deer just chews through the fuel. A lot more than our 7120, but like Dad said, it's a lot more productive than that 7120. We get a lot more done. So done, it's basically using the same amount of fuel consumption. That needed 200 gallon, and the only thing we got is the fuel tank in the back of the dually, and that holds 100 gallon. So he had to fuel it last night. Had a meeting in Princeton about 7 o'clock this morning, and then on his way back fueled it again, and then he went back home to grab more fuel because the 305 and the 155 are both basically on E, and when he got back there the power was out, so he couldn't put any fuel in. So I told him just run to a gas station and get fuel, because the 305, like I said, it's basically on E, and the 155 is buried on E. So that's been kind of what's been going on this morning. Well, I think Dad and I are finally going to go try and cut some beans. The sun has been out for, I don't know, half an hour now or so. Wind was supposed to be a lot breezier today, like 20 mile an hour winds. This has been kind of calm, hasn't really been doing much. So those beans they weren't ready. They were supposed to start up about 5 a.m. as far as the wind goes, and it just never happened. So they were a little chewy yet, but we were waiting for the sun. It's finally out. We had some phone calls to make this morning anyway. Chatted with some guys, got everything fueled up, and yeah, I think they'll go now. Well, I was trying to get my AutoSteer to work, if you remember right, yesterday. And I had everything set up here, and it wasn't responding. Well, I thought this here was to kind of activate the AutoSteer. And so I pushed that on, not really thinking anything of it. And nothing was working. I could get the green wheel to turn on, and as you can see, I'm set on a path now, and it's holding it dead straight. This is actually to lock the AutoSteer, I assume, when you're going down the road, so that it cannot steer the tractor. And I had that on like an idiot. So my ag leader guy called, because I called him yesterday and was explaining what was going on. He said, "That's weird. I had it working. I know I did." And he called back this morning and left me a voicemail. He said, "Hey, this might be a dumb question, but is there a switch on the side console over by the window that would shut that off? Do you have that turned on accident maybe?" He said, "I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking here, and maybe that's what's going on." Well, I just tried it with that switch off, and it's working perfectly. So I need to call him back and tell him, no, that wasn't a dumb question. It was just a dumb operator. The button on the armrest don't do anything.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's why, because I was pushing that too and trying to get it to work, and yeah. So I'm gonna get beside you here and see if I'm on the right angle. I plugged in the 186 degree heading, so I'm gonna see if it's correct.
Well, I'm gonna stop here and test these things because the monitor said 14 1/4.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, get those tested. Let me know what they test. We may be sitting a little bit longer. So, okay, I just wanted to let you know that I did get it working. Well, he said they tested 14, so that's right on the limit, I feel. See what he has to say. Thinking we'd better wait a minute.
I'd say another hour.
Okay, well, and I don't. What sucks is that if there was no rain in the forecast, I would say let's just switch to corn until 3-4 o'clock and then cut as many and then do the same tomorrow. But if it's only going to be an hour, which I think it will be, the wind is finally picking up and the sun's out.
Should have switched this morning.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Should have switched.
Meeting this morning.
Right.
Would have probably.
Yeah, and the fueling and all that situation. Yes, would have switched to corn till 2 o'clock. But now it'd be kind of a waste of time to switch over.
They'll be down to under 13.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, under 14 at least. And if that bin had a fan, I would say it's, under 14, probably don't care, but anyway. Okay, we waited a little bit longer and the dust seems to be flying a lot better. He finally just started back in. I'm gonna go ahead and run up next to him, even though he really don't need to dump, but well, he's gonna want to anyway, because otherwise he'll be needing to dump on the way back and the auger is on this side. So I'll get next to him. I want to see if this AutoSteer is going to work. I think I've got it centered on a track where I'll be right next to him, and I can nudge it a little bit if I need to. These nudges, I can change how many inches. Right now it's on 30. That's a lot. I don't want to nudge that far. I don't really remember how to change that, but I can do 30 or 60. Usually I can do about an inch or two every now and then, but what I'll probably end up doing is get where I want it to and just center the track anyway. So anyway, let's see if we're even close, I guess. Need him to put his spout out for me so that I can test this. He's not doing it yet. I can't pull underneath you until you get it out. And the reason I can't do that is because if I get next to him before he puts that out, the boot will actually hit the grain cart, which somebody already did on this combine. It wasn't us, but you can see it's ripped on the end here. It's kind of flapping around. Somebody hit the side of the cart. Yeah. At least I don't think he can make it 2 rounds. Maybe he can. Maybe I'm wasting my time here. Well, I went ahead and set my width to the same width as the combine. That way I didn't have to constantly shift tracks, but I'm kind of testing it out now, making sure that this heading is correct. He told me 186 degrees. And it looks like I'm holding pretty steady to him. It's not really getting off, not getting any closer. So I think it is going to work. We've got ag leader's system on here, obviously, but we've got a 7500 Globe and the TerraStar X. I think it's what a lot of guys use in like Caterpillar, like construction equipment, stuff like that. It's basically RTK, John Deere's RTK. It's sub-inch, the satellite RTK subscription. So we wanted that just because we're going to be putting the ammonia down into our strips, because we don't have ammonia set up on our strip till bar, obviously. So we want it to be just as accurate as that strip till bar, because we did have last year where the strip till or the ammonia bar got a little off of our strips, and it was kind of throwing dirt where we really didn't want it to, and so the planter was having a hard time because the ammonia bar gouged too much dirt out on top of our strips, and we really don't want that. So we're thinking this might work. I don't know, maybe I am off a little bit. I'm getting pretty dang close. I was just about to run him over there. I don't know. We'll see. If I run over the head, I guess you'll know. We'll see it on camera. Okay. Swing over towards him. Hit the AutoSteer. It's going to take over, do its thing, not touching the wheel. I'm just going to run right underneath him. Shift over a little, 2 inches maybe. Shift again. I don't have it set exactly where he's at. Go over a foot. Another 4 inches wouldn't hurt. Slow down a bit for him. I gotta get my track set. Still not liking that. Another 4. It's not bad. Set the wheel up a little. I think it's holding pretty good. My angle might be a little off from his. He seems like he's getting a little further away. Or I'm getting further away, let's put it that way. I think he's on like 188 degrees or something. I'll have to give him a call and maybe he can recheck his heading. Which we're almost done with this field, so it's really not that big a deal. But I just want to get this dialed in for him so that when he's out doing tillage, you know, it's all working. The one thing that we keep forgetting on this combine is the bin on top, the bin extension is so much taller than our old bin, and he always forgets to fold it down because it's just a button now. And we could always just run with it up, you know, and get under the power lines and all that. Well, with it being so much taller, we really gotta pay attention to switching fields and stuff like that, because we will catch a power line one of these times, I'm sure, if he doesn't remember to fold that down, which he's just folding it right back out now because he can get over to the other field without going under any power lines. But it does stand up there. The sides stand up quite a bit taller, probably a solid foot anyway, and so we're not used to that. He's getting used to that. He is remembering it now, but when we switched from the corn to go over to the beans here, he forgot to fold that down. Luckily, the power lines were high enough that he didn't catch any, and he wasn't too close to them, but that is one thing we got to pay attention to. We're opening up the field, and these are usually always interesting. He's cutting along the waterways so that when he gets up to it, he can lift up the head and he's not cutting into any grass or anything like that. There is no way I'm going to be able to make this bend while unloading him on the go, and he thinks that this is just hunky-dory. Look at that curve. Are you kidding me? This ought to be fun. Yeah, this is... I'll wait for the curve a little bit here. Okay. Down a bit. Yeah, this is... Apparently I'm going too quick. How's that? That was 2 miles an hour. That's really not too bad, actually. Goodness gracious. On the bright side, our waterway's looking really good. We actually came up here and we widened these out because we were getting a few more cuts, and for CRP purposes, we do get a check for CRP on these. So they've got to be a certain specification on how wide they got to be and stuff like that. But we came through here, we leveled these out because they were rough. I mean, they had a cut through the center here that would just about rock you out of the cab going over, and we just came over with a box blade and stuff like that and got it all leveled out, got it all squared up, and seeded in some grass and some alfalfa, and it looks great. Well, I think what we got left is going to fit in this tall bin here, but we got it all set up. The cart's somewhat full. I'm gonna go ahead and check in here and see if we can't just put some more in. I'm pretty sure we can, but that way we know this bin is gonna hold it all behind me. Oh yeah, I think it'd hold the rest of that. Good thing about this little bin here is it's got a nice set of stairs. Oh, it's a good thing that chain's on there. I thought that had a glider on the back of it, but it did not. Off center, but it's good enough. Good enough. Okay, we're all set up and moved. We are just about done with beans. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and guesstimate that he's at 270. 5.9. Got a draw there that I gotta slow down for. He needs to get loaded yesterday. Back up for him. Okay, we are back to normal here. It was not 275 or whatever I said it was. That was definitely not the right heading. I'm gonna put 275 even, maybe. That seems a little better. I think that's right. Dead on. Hammer down. Not much to go. Good morning. Last night we did end up finishing the beans. It's a beautiful morning this morning. Beans definitely would have ran if we wouldn't have gotten them done last night, but there is rain coming tomorrow, so it's a good thing that we managed to finish up all our beans. We are done with beans. However, we also broke something on the combine. It's a little lever on the feeder house there that raises the feeder house drum up and down. It busted off somewhere in the field. It's still in the field somewhere. So luckily the dealership did have parts. We got all the parts here to fix it. I ended up getting all the parts for the 305 to fix. He should be here. He is here. Are we gonna try? We're not gonna try and fix this today, are we?
No.
Okay.
Not with the forecast today.
Okay, I didn't think so. With the rain coming.
We're gonna get it here.
Yeah, the parts. Okay, I'll go ahead and move this out of the way. I'll get pulled over to the combine. We may as well fix that first.
Well, no, I figured let's go get that Kenworth moved so that we're here when they get here.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Yeah, because, yeah, I forgot you brought the head. Because we were getting a new corn head today. Okay, yeah, we'll go
Maybe
get that.
we're getting a corn head.
Well, let me shut this off then. So, yeah, maybe.
Well, we can move it out of the way first.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't realize he was here yet. He's really quiet, man. I tell him this all the time. We need to get a bell to put around his neck, you know, like a collar with a bell on it. Because he sneaks up on me way too much. And he scares the living heck out of me. And this was one of those times I had no idea he was there. He was walking through the field. I still didn't hear him. We did have guys come out and pick our 2-acre patch, or our plot that they had put in. We ended up leaving one of the fertilizer wagons for them to put the soybeans in. We brought it up here today so that we can just dump it in this bin. This bean bin's got more than enough room to hold it all, and so that's the plan. Oh wow, I did not think that the slide for this was going to work, but it did. Can't believe the slide for that thing works.
I know. Good thing it does. Our
Oh,
slip plate didn't hold.
it's already rusty.
I'm betting the inside of the wagon is too.
I hope not. I graphited this so that the fertilizer would slip out. The dumb thing's already got surface rust. Backing a wagon up with a pickup, I can do it with a tractor, but a pickup I just can't see anything. So that's why we don't back up, we just go forward whenever we can. Well, he's tearing that down, getting that auger out of that bin. I may as well climb up. I gotta shut the lids on the northernmost bean bin, climb up and shut the lids on this bean bin as well, and then go open the corn bin. Handle even work? Maybe. That's about worthless as well, but it keeps it on there, I guess. On to the next one. Oh boy. Oh hey, the lid's already open on that one over there, so I don't have to go over there. Actually, I still have to climb it because I gotta guide him in. There's no way that he's gonna hit that hole. It's a very small opening. And you know the old saying, give a monkey a typewriter, eventually they will type Hamlet, but we don't have that kind of time, so. Good enough. Let's get out of here. Oh boy, I am running on about 2 minutes of sleep. My child started having nightmares or something. I don't know, but either way, she wakes up about every 2 minutes. And unfortunately, on the days my wife works, because she's a nurse, I try to make sure that the kid is taken care of and that I kind of just take care of everything so that she gets as much sleep as possible anytime she does have to work. Ooh. And last night was one of those nights, so I am running on absolutely no sleep today. Okay, so we had this piece break off, and that's loose actually, so that's concerning. I don't think I can split that enough to get it, maybe. I got it. And that goes there.
All right.
And there.
This is pretty simple.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but
Pretty simple. Right there.
well, that was Not a hard fix. Kind of an odd one to lose in the field, but up and running.
I think so.
Now we're just waiting on a corn head. Oh, what do you check the oil on this thing? Is it under here? Ah.
Hey.
I think she needs oil. Add a quart. Call it good. Well, the guy bringing our corn head said that he was going to be here about noon. But it is now 1 o'clock. We've been waiting. We didn't want to take off because we got to open up the ends of this cornfield. And so once we get back there, you know, he's going to be, if he shows up, he's going to be sitting waiting for a while. But we waited until 1 o'clock and he's still not here. So we got to go. We can't just sit here, unfortunately. So we're going to take off. Hopefully he doesn't show up immediately as soon as we take off, but our corn head should be here soon. Oh, my daughter was in here last night and she drew me some beautiful pictures that she made me hang up on the window there. Beautiful. So we're gonna head out. He's heading across, taking the end rows off now. I just gotta follow him. Slow process, but you got to do it to get opened up, and this is quite a large field, so this is going to take a while. So like I said, if he does show up, I feel bad because he's going to be sitting for a long while, but we tried. We did sit here and wait past when he said he was going to be here, so we just can't sit that long. We were both getting antsy. We had to do something. It's a beautiful day out. It's supposed to rain for like 5 days after this, so I think I need to loosen this one in here too. Well, we got our new corn head. A few things wrong with it. Well, not really wrong with it, but doors were open on the sides. Had to get those closed. Had to figure out a way to hang the hoses. It's kind of rigged, but it'll work. Now we're trying to tighten this chain because I noticed it was loose. You're off of that now, so that's good. She'll run now. Pulling a little less trash in. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these ear savers up because he is throwing some over the sides. Looks a little goofy, but better than the Rollicones, I guess. Well, so far I'm not convinced. It's still a John Deere, but once he gets all his accoutrements set on it, you know, the calmer stock rolls and the deck plates where they're angled down, not flat, you know, save some of that butt shelling. He's just, this is 15%. I mean, it is just, it's shelling that corn on that head so bad. He's leaving so much corn on the ground. That's the only gripe I got with it. It's just, it shells terribly. And not only that, but since he went with his deer, we got to put a reel on it if we got down corn. And that's not going to be, I hate reels. It is doing a nicer job than the last head. I will give him that. He can actually angle it the way he wants it to, get it down a lot lower. So it's doing pretty good, and it's got chopping knives on it, roll knives. So I'm much happier with the job it's doing. As soon as we get that Devastator put on, unfortunately they didn't have the brackets for it, so they couldn't put it on. They're getting it shipped to our house. We've got the rolls and everything here. He did bring all those. We just need the right brackets for the deer. They thought they had them. They didn't. Not a big deal. That was CJ Beeps out of Iowa that brought us that head. I mean, we bought our head carrier from them too for the corn head and that head. They've been fantastic. I mean, they took so many discounts off. Just they were even going to put the Devastator on for us cheaper than we could buy it new. Found out they couldn't do the brackets, so then they took off another, $500. But the gathering, they were looking at it this morning and said, you know what? Gathering chains are a little iffy. We're just going to put them on. Then we get the bill. He didn't even charge us for them. So absolutely fantastic guys to work with. If you're ever needing any equipment, they're just a single dealer. CJ Beeps up in Iowa. Really nice guys to work with. Well, the corn picking's going pretty good. I had Dad go ahead and split the varieties. I wanted to test the moisture on this variety. This is 112 day. The one to my left is 109 day that I had planted. This is making, it's like 14.5% dry. I mean, that's very dry, which is good because the reason I did that is we need to fill that dry bin, and I'm hoping I've got about 10,000 bushel just to fill that with this variety being that dry. This might be dry enough to where we can, fill the bottom of the dryer bin, and then once we get onto the 114 day, we can just set it on top and just start the dryers. That is the hopes, that we can just get through all of it and not really have to stop to dry anything. This is running about 240 at 14.5%, which is amazing. This is a Whiffles. It's all Whiffles. Number wise, I honestly cannot tell you. I know I planted some like 57, 78, 78, 78. I think is the 114 day. The numbering system on the Whiffles is a little odd. I don't have it figured out yet. Like for instance, we got some Pioneer here. I know it's 1185 because it's 111 day corn. So that's easy. 1185. It's add 100 to the first two numbers. Whiffles I haven't found out yet. But anyway, I had him bust through here also because we're going to be running this way, picking this 109 day. And that way I can be coming back this way getting loaded instead of running all the way down, getting loaded all the way down on that end and then I have to bring the cart back full across the field. It's just, this way I'm just running empty to the other end of the field because I got to go all the way back to the house that way. So, I don't know. It makes sense to me. That way I'm not compacting as much, so maybe it's a waste of time. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? I have got to find a bathroom. So Dad and I have been running for quite a while now. We're just trying to get as much as we can done really before this rain comes in, and it's supposed to be here about 2 o'clock in the morning. I will say though that this is my favorite time of farming. Just nobody bugging you. All the phones are off. Half the people are in bed. Most everybody's in bed really. All the businesses are shut down and I can just relax, set my phone up somewhere or a tablet, whatever. Just watch some TV shows. Nobody's calling me. Gosh, it's nice having this AutoSteer. I mean, it totally trivializes everything, but to where I'm, just sitting here. I shouldn't say that. It's not like I'm just sitting here, we still do have waterways that I gotta watch for. And so, like, right now I gotta swerve out of the way just in case when he drops into the waterway, it comes down you know, on this side to where the spout might hit the grain cart. So I still got to swerve out of the way and do things like that, but sometimes it does get too close, as you can see. But then I just hop over to the other side, hit the AutoSteer, and it just puts me right back on track. And voila, we're off to the races. Now I can take a nap until we get to the end. We should have enough corn to fill this bin, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to topping off this truck, and we're gonna kind of work around here and try and get this bin topped off. Really wish we had this clutch fixed, but it is what it is. Figured we'd wait until a rain delay, and looks like we're gonna get it for the next week or so. So they can come out and fix this finally, and I can have a smooth riding 305. Well, we still got a lot to go. Well, I'm not sure where Dad went, but I'm going to go ahead and get the combine emptied, because I know I'm going to need it. Here you can see I wasn't lying. 14.5% moisture, 238 bushels an acre, so very happy with that. You gotta set the parking brake on this machine, because it will honk loudly at you if you don't when you get out of the seat. Well, Dad's got kind of the same conclusion that I do. I think we need another cart full or so. This stuff is either weighing a lot better than last year, or the cart scales are off, or, you know, there could be a multitude of things. You know, because if that corn is weighing 60, well, if I take 60, divide that by 56, it's 1.07 times 12,446. So 12,446 bushels of 56 pound. So if that bin holds 12,500 bushels of 56 pound test weight corn. If it's 60 pound test weight corn, you times that by 1.07. So you would actually be able to hold 13,375 bushel. Which, if my math is right, and this is how much we have in here, we've got about 12.3 with all this said and done. If my math is right, and the test weight is 60, we would be able to hold another 1,000 bushel. Technically. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Right, because the corn weighs more, so I'm technically getting more pounds on the cart with less volume. So there's less volume in the bin, but the same amount of weight to equate to 12,400 bushel. However, since it's less volume, I can actually fit more in the bin, meaning more bushels. So I should be able to fit 13,375 bushels into that bin, since it's weighing more. Does that make sense? Maybe my math is wrong, but you know, bushels, the whole bushels deal is just, it's confusing. Well, my GoPro ended up dying, actually. So that is going to be it for the night. We did end up topping that bin off, got everything pulled down. I moved the baby truck out of the field. Everything else we kind of left in the field, just shut it off because we got to be here anyway if anything happens. The baby truck, if we need it, I at least got it on gravel because it doesn't do well in any wet weather. So we get everything out of the fields somewhat. Talking rain the next 5 days. Guess we'll see what happens. Catch you in the next one.